sin makes us stupid. So the more you sin, the dumber you get. And, it's true. Maybe this is just a perception as I get older, but it seems to me that our society is just getting dumber and dumber the more it sins.
Hello there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another video here on Daily Inspiration. If you find the messages in this or any other video in this channel helpful, please do share it on your Facebook or Twitter to help spread the message. So this time we'll be discussing about Father Chad Ripperger's lecture on original sin, and I think there are a few points here that some of you might be unfamiliar with, and I hope this video will be helpful for you in your spiritual journey on understanding more about our Christian faith. Original sin, that is the sin of Adam and Eve, which all men inherited from our first parents, and it is communicated from our parents to or from parents to their children by the passing on of human nature. Since it is passed on to the children, it is not an actual sin of the person who receives it. So it's not like you have to go and confess original sin, you get baptized to get it remitted. Original sin consists basically in the non-passing on of grace, or what we call the original justice given to our first parents. So that in point, in fact, original sin is the passing on not only of defects like an inclination towards evil and things like that, but it's the actual lack of grace that's passed on. Original sin resides in the soul alone, that it is something in the soul. What occurs in the flesh, that is in the body, is part of the punishment or the effects of original sin and is not original sin itself. As to the effects of original sin, there are a variety of disorders that man suffers from original sin, many of which are bodily. Man has become disordered through original sin, and this manifests itself bodily in death, illness, natural disasters, and things of this sort.
We therefore come to a point where we can elucidate the four primary effects of original sin. The first is sickness and death, which we mentioned before. The second is that the will has become prone to evil, insofar as original sin inclines the will to actual sin. And it also means that the will is now weakened. So in addition to malice, that is, doing things that are evil, it is weak, so it's hard to do the good things. It will be more difficult to will the good because of the weakness of the will arising from original sin. The third effect of original sin is the disorder of the passions or appetites, sometimes called the emotions. And this is what we call in Latin there's a term called the fomes peccatis, which is the tenders of the flesh. Sometimes it's translated as concupiscence. This means, as St. Paul points out, that the flesh, that is the lower faculties, war against the spirit, that is the higher faculties. So the appetites or emotions do not want to obey our reason and our will, and they tend to go off on their own because the control of the spiritual faculties over the body has been debilitated. The fourth effect of sin is the darkening of the intellect.